time to be mean again. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, Cuban to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact. Welcome to My Thoughts On, aka a long-term yapper attempting to make his long-term yap not that long-term, and essentially get a handle and control over his yapping abilities. So, of course, let me start this 10-minute timer right here, right now, and let's talk about Nobara Kugisaki, the female lead of Jujutsu Kaisen. We're gonna break this down into 3 meaty sections. First things first, we're going to talk about her narrative purpose. Second things second, we're going to talk about her character. And third things third, we're going to talk about her power scaling. And unfortunately, I don't really have positive things to say about Dark. Well, actually, no, I do like her character. But unfortunately, Nobara's done. Horrific. Is horrific an understatement? Horrific is an understatement. But let's start talking right where it all begins. Let's talk about that narrative. It's literally just Yuji's character development. Nobara is a plot device for Yuji's character development. Now, don't get me wrong. In essentially any story ever, a character typically exists in one way or another to affect the main character. I'm not sitting here and arguing that that is not the case at any and all times. It just is. It's a law of nature. It's fundamental. It's fact. Alright? But like, I ask you, what does Nobara do? What does Nobara do in the narrative of Jujutsu Kaisen? She has her introductory fight. She shows up in Shibuya, gets beat down by Shikema, Haruto, of all characters, and needs to be saved by Nanami. Then she runs the ones with a Mahito clone, a Mahito double with no curse technique, by the way. Fails to off that. Then gets grabbed, viciously diffed by Mahito, goes boom, gets her backstory shoved in our face the moment after her face gets boomed, then disappears for a fat chunk of the narrative, only existing to make Yuji sad in terms of his memory, and then comes back right at the end to save Yuji at the perfect time. That's it. That is, like, she has not, like, it is bad. It is bad. Because, like, here's the thing. Nobara is a character where if you remove her from where she is narratively, Yuji dies. Like that's not a fact. Well, except for like her first introductory fight, they were fine. They were safe there. But like in the fight against Eson Ketchizu, where she lands her Black Flash, the only Black Flash she lands in the series, if she's not there, Yuji very likely loses to getting ganked and then dies. So like that is pretty darn bad. I agree. That is important. In Shibuya, she probably was a very big reason why Mahito went down at all, considering, you know, she helped stack on the infinite amount of damage. And if Mahito had even a bit more soul health when he was fighting Yuji, he may have been able to clutch up. It did. Obviously, like, Mahito would probably have still been stopped from slaying Yuji by kenjaku or something, but still, you know, I could very easily see Yuji failing. And of course, obviously, if Nobara doesn't show up at the exact perfect time right at the end of the narrative, she would absolutely and undeniably allow, or not really allow, Yuji would just die again to Sukuna. Like he was going to lose without Nobara's interference there. So I can't even sit here and say that Nobara isn't narratively important. It's just that the narrative only uses her to essentially bolster Yuji wherever he would fail. And like it's the weird thing, right? Because narratively that's fine. That's fine because that's what characters are meant to do in most narratives. Support the main character in one way or another so they don't fail, or essentially help them fail for their character development. And definitely Nobara does have a positive impact on Yuji's character as a whole. I'm not saying you can remove Nobara from the narrative either on like an actual narrative level without causing narrative problems, and or on an actual character interaction level where her existence like adds nothing. But it feels like so little. And it makes sense because the main trio of JJK just doesn't get that much in general. But that doesn't excuse it in my mind, right? Like that doesn't maybe be like, yeah, fantastic job writing and incorporating this female character. Your female lead of your manga. Like that doesn't, like I can't praise it. Like it is the basic fundamental problem that basically every person has with every female lead in almost every shonen ever, where all they do and all they exist for is to support the main character in their time of need and save them when they need saving. That's it. I don't know. Narratively, Nobara is really, really boring. And in comparison to how innovative the series is in a lot of other ways, Nobara is like the most watered down version of her archetype nonetheless. It is really, really bad, just speaking narratively. But character-wise, I actually do like Nobara. I like Nobara a lot. I think she's a fun character. I think she's a character with a lot of personality. I think she's a character with a lot of good spunk and energy behind her. But ultimately, once again, kind of like the Megami, and even I see why people have this issue with Itadori, we just don't get enough time with her. If you were to total up Nobara's entire screen time over the course of the 250 plus manga run, she probably has like maybe 10 chapters worth of like actual on-panel screen time. Because remember, she's gone before the 100 okay, man, I forget if that's actually incorrect. I forget if she's like gone before or right after the 100 chapter mark. But she's gone for 150 chapters in the narrative, bare minimum. Just gone. And like mentioned here and there, but gone. So there's that whole chunk. And then even in the back chunk of the narrative where she exists and is an active participant in the plot, she barely exists and is barely an active participant in the plot. So we have these nice moments of her mentality, of her history. And of course, while Gege does very artificially shove the backstory in our face right before he quote-unquote offs her, that technically is like a good backstory, and it's always interesting to see characters like Nobara have their motivations for being the way they are and getting their history. But it's too little too late. And it's weird. Because it feels like Gege planned that. Like, it feels like Gege was willing to help Nobara. It's like, you could have given her more time before you boomed her? Like, oh no, Mahito touched her face. I wonder what's going to happen. Like, that's the thing. It feels like Gege went paint by numbers for how he was going to implement Nobara, even though he made Nobara a relatively interesting character. It's why Nobara, like, pulls the gaslight gatekeeping girl boss over, like, most people's heads. And people praise Nobara as a female character and say she's revolutionary in terms of writing. I sit there and look at them funny. Because, like, huh? She really isn't. At least in terms of her narrative role. And character-wise, while she's somewhat revolutionary, not really. I've seen spunky anime tomboys in the anime since, like, forever. Like ever. Like, you can go back to before the 90s, gosh darn. Like, Sailor Moon, like, legitimately. She's not actually all that unique in of her own right as a character, too. And it doesn't help that she doesn't get much screen time. And don't get me wrong, I'm happy that one of the epilogue chapters was devoted to her. But, like, still, cool story, gang. I didn't even know that was a part of your character. I didn't. I mean, I could assume it, but then again, I didn't have much time to assume because we were in the middle of the Mahito fight by the time your backstory was even brought up as something to be relevant. Shock horror. I did not have time to invest. My stocks were not properly invested. I don't know. Like, it's weird because I don't want to assume it's malicious because Gege wrote Maki. But at the same time, as we'll talk about in my Maki video, I feel weird about Maki too, and how she's handled as a character. So it just feels strange. I don't know. I like Nobara as a character, but I don't feel anything about it. Like, it's empty calories. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not necessarily bad for me, but it's not necessarily good for me. I'd be fine with going without it. I don't necessarily need it, but that's like bad. I don't know. It's like I just gotta eat today, so I'll eat something, even if it's not my favorite food ever. That is Nobara as a character to me. And power scaling wise, it's not much different. She's trash. She's not even top 25. Like, not arguably, possibly not even top 30. Can I name 30 characters stronger than Nobara? Probably. I'm not gonna bother because like she's that fodder. Remember, this was a Shibuya Mahito clone victim, and she never got stronger. In fact, with the loss of her eye, we only know she got weaker. That's it. She only got weaker. So she's like absolute fodder power scaling wise. And notably, the sheer lack of discussion around Nobara is testament to that. It is absolutely testament to that. The female lead of your battle manga not even being considered in the running for the top 30. Okay, I may be dragging on the top 30. But the top 25 is absurd. It's absurd. It's absurd. I hear Bleach fans argue about Orihime to this day. I hear Naruto fans and Boruto fans argue about Sakura and Sarada to this day. To this day. Nami? Not really, for One Piece, admittedly, but then again, I'm not too tapped into One Piece. But ultimately, like, there are definitely other female leads, even for a character like Morgiana from Magi. Like, there are definitely, you have characters in mangaka who are willing to make female characters extremely powerful and top tier. But the female lead of JJK, now she's fodder. She's fodder, and while her abilities have interesting interaction with a fat chunk of the cast, she's so fodder, stats-wise, that it doesn't matter. Oh, she could have interesting interactions with reincarnated sorcerers. What does it matter? She's fodder. She's just like, that's the thing. She does so little, gets so little time in comparison to other characters who do big, major, important things over little time spans. But at the same time, there's just nothing. It's so hollow. It's so vapid. It's so empty. I can't lean and rock with Nobara on the power scaling or the narrative side. Even though I admit her narrative is important, you cannot remove her from the plot. She is important. JJK is written well enough that I can say that concretely. But her character, even of itself, just doesn't really hit for your boy. But of course, that's what I think. Please, what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts on Nobara in the comment section down below. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, please leave ball I1. I don't know why I just said eyeball back, but ball I1 in the comment section down below. And thank you so much for watching. If you want to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that notification bells you not miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, you don't have a Patreon down below, or you can support me for as low as $1 a month. The things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some perks include the live reactions here this year's amateur review, ad variations of all my videos, and if you become a $20 patron or a $20 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also do a link to my Ko-Fi in the description down below. You drop 5 beats for a short video, 25 beats for a long video, or any beats at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is that guy with the pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Super Flame Zero, Glacier XZ, Zara, Brandon Payne, J2MA, Yomi, Yuki Ally, Buddha Uda, Azo 2404, Planet Crone, G Prosper, Nevis 97, and Ollie. I'd like to give a big old thank you to our line art tier patrons: Sean, Nirvana Igneal, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin Encarnacion, and A+A. And then I'd like to give a big old thank you to our Ink tier members: Fine, Austin Wimberly, Euchia, Carlo Alaimo, and Grim. And then I'd like to give a big old hefty thank you to our digital art tier members: J Warrior and AZ Void. And then I'd like to give a big old thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Wakimunos and Wakimunos. And then I'd finally like to give a giga super duper kidney sacrificing thank you to our ultimate, that guy with a heart on the horizon, Calvin Elder.